Welcome, everyone. Joe Tarnowski with ECRM here, and I have with me Caroline Moore, who's a buyer with the University of Colorado at Boulder, and she's going to be participating in ECRM's Impulse front end and check lane session in January in Denver. So we're going to touch on some of the things that she's looking for at that session. But before we get into it, can you give us an overview of the stores that are on the campus and the who's the main consumer? Obviously students, but
Mhm.
what kinds of things do they look for?
Okay, so we have 12 retail units on campus. They are a combination of casual dining restaurants, convenience stores, and coffee shops. And our primary, for most of the week, our primary consumer would be our freshmen. We have 8,000 freshmen living on campus.
Mhm,
We have 37,000 people working on campus,
mhm.
whether they're in classes or working. Um, but it's primarily our freshmen who use our services.
What kind of impulse items are they into that you normally sell?
So around our check stands, we typically have, the obvious things. We'll have energy drinks, chocolates, gum, mints, that sort of thing.
Mhm,
The other thing that we do is we use that space for items that we might want to feature or that might be a sale item.
mhm.
So if we bring in a new item that we want to promote, we'll display it some way at the front counter, which also will help to increase the sell through on that item.
You don't have any of these anymore? Does
Fidget
anybody sell
spinners?
these?
I think we do. I think we have those in our merchandise store, which is a new store for us this year. I forgot to mention. Um, no food, all merchandise. So
Ah,
it's just interesting things, games and clothing and household items and lanyards, all kinds of things.
yeah. Sounds like that's a perfect spot for different types of impulse items.
Yep, it's going really well. And of course, Coach Prime has helped that. So, got to give a little plug for our boys.
Yep, yep.
Um, but we have a lot of people on football day passing through this building. So, we have some of our Colorado paraphernalia there for them to
Mhm.
purchase, which has been great for us.
So anything, and I'm jumping ahead, but anything
Okay.
that has a logo on it is probably going to do
It
well.
is huge for us this year.
Yeah.
Previous years, maybe not so much, but no, actually, the students always want Colorado gear. I mean,
Hmm.
that's whether it's Colorado State gear or CU Buff gear, that's always an easy sell.
Yeah. My nephew's in just started going to Stony Brook here in Long
Okay.
Island, and Stony Brook shirts,
Of course.
everything, iPhone case, whatever. It's all everything's got a logo on it.
Yep.
Um, so what do you think makes an impulse item fly off the shelf? I mean, I think you touched on something already where, you do pricing and promotions. So,
Mhm.
what are the kinds of things that make a good impulse item?
I think it's a full range. So it would be the season or time of year, not necessarily seasonal per se, but in the beginning of the school year, there are certain items that the
Mhm,
students are looking for, like lanyards, card holders, that sort of thing.
mhm,
So those are always good. And then you move into the more seasonal items. Packaging, obvious, is an obvious one that's always important. We find here, because it is Boulder, anything that speaks to being clean, environmentally friendly, uh, sharp, crisp packaging, that's usually pretty simple. If we can sample as well as have a new item,
mhm.
that's always great for our impulse end. Um, the Novelty is new for us because our stores tend to be small, so we don't have a lot of room for extra items. So that's kind of what our merchandise store is all about
Mhm.
this year. Throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and let's see what they purchase and what sticks, and then we will reset either for the second semester or next fall.
Yeah, it sounds like that merchandise store is lots of opportunities you're going to find
Mhm.
at this session. So, what kind of things are you looking for go at the January session?
So the one thing being a long time attendee at ECRM, the thing that I tell everybody is I go without any preconceived notion. What I found was like back in the day when I was buying for a restaurant, I would go to the New York Food Show with an idea in mind. I need olive oil. I'd go to the olive oil floor, I'd find what I was looking for, and I'd go home and I'd miss everything else. And what I've learned from attending our ECRM is that I need to go with an open mind, not looking for a specific item, and just see what registers with me. I'll see everybody. 9 times out of 10, it's a hit. The smallest amount of items I've brought in after an ECRM show is 36, but
Wow.
normally I'm in the 90s, 90, 98 that products that I find that I didn't even know I wanted.
Wow. Well, that's the definition of impulse right there.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just impulse, of course, I attend many of the shows.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but that's great.
but that's pretty much my standard.
That's
As
a
a
good
matter of
way of
fact,
looking at it. Going in with an open mind. Because you're right. I think there's a lot of times people are surprised that they'll find something that they did not expect,
mhm.
and all of a sudden it's a breakthrough item.
Yeah, and when you have the option to not take meetings, you do yourself a disservice.
Mhm.
And there are some things that are clear, like we don't serve alcohol on campus. So there's nothing that person is going to bring me. But what I will say is the people that I work with at ECRM will say, hey, although they have this item, well, coffee and tea is probably a better example,
Mhm.
because those go out to bid for us. But they'll say, yeah, they're a coffee manufacturer. However, you might like this other thing. And then I'll say, okay, fine. I'll go
Mhm.
ahead and meet with them. So working with your ECR liaison is really important too, and for them to know you and kind of what your business model is all about.
Excellent. Well, great. Well, that's awesome, and hopefully you'll find lots of stuff for your new merchandise store that's opening up. And I look forward to seeing you in Colorado,
I look forward to seeing you too. Glad
your
we're actually
hometown.
my hometown is great to be able to host you guys. Maybe we can get some time to go out and do a little climbing or
Yes,
hiking when you're
that would
here.
be pretty cool. I would love that. So maybe I'll
Okay.
build in some extra time.
Well, let's keep
So
our fingers crossed it'll be beautiful weather like we do right now. So,
yes.
all right, Joe, it was great speaking with you. It's good seeing your face too.
Likewise. I'll see you soon.